I, like many of you, have a massive gaming backlog that I'm working through. Mine doesn't stress me out so much as it does get me excited, but all the same, there is no doubt a massive list of games behind me that I would like to find the time for, like to find the space for, and eventually get around to playing. But as we all know, that can be a little bit difficult to do. It's not always the easiest to choose what you want to play next. Obviously, follow your heart, follow your mood, but sometimes you just need a little bit of extra nudge. And that's why it's nice that there are several places you can go and communities you can join that will help you in tackling your gaming backlog. Now, I've talked about some of these before in the past, and I've talked about Backloggery as a website that I use, or for folks that have watched my monthly trophy videos, I've talked about the Polykill Bingo, which is a backlog-focused bingo challenge that my podcast does. But in spite of all those, I still wanted a little bit of an extra nudge, and so I signed up for the Last Man Standing Backlog competition over on the RNG Discord, which is hosted by my good friends Zach Archer and Chrono Link 91. They put together this incredible backlog challenge wherein folks submit a list of games, basically one game per people or per person contributing to the challenge, and then everyone goes through and they sort of eliminate games off of your list until it's down to just 2 games. So it's kind of like a survivor style voting games off the island sort of situation until there's only 2 games remaining, and then you're tasked with playing those 2 games in the next couple of months. So what we're doing today is not actually going to be looking at my backlog, although mine shows up in the list, so we will talk about it. But instead, we are going to be ranking and eliminating the backlog choices of the other people in this competition. So some of these folks are friends of mine, some of them are strangers to me, but they've all submitted a list of games, and we are going to rank them in order and eliminate the ones that I would least like to see other people play. So I think this will be fun for you. A great opportunity to get a sense of my tastes and see what games maybe I prefer over others, or what I would recommend that other people play. And just in general, chat about some good video games and hopefully help to encourage some people to play some great games. So with that, we are going to cut on over to the list, which I've already got pulled up here. They're all set up in this Google form. Shout outs to Zach. And you see we have a list of games going down the left. And we have, if we scroll off to the right, the order that we eliminate them all the way up through last place. Fortunately, Google Forms is a little bit strict in terms of the width, so this is about as wide as you can get it. But for each individual person, we're going to look at their list of the games, and I'm going to decide what order I think they should play these games in. We, of course, can't do that without a nice cup of tea. We've got the Soot Sprite mug going here and some green tea to complement things. It's going to be good. So yeah, treat this one like a podcast. Hopefully you can enjoy it while you're doing some backlog gaming of your own. And we're going to help decide what games I want to see people play. All right, starting with Zach, we have Black Ops, 4 Call of Duties. Wow. Black Ops, Ghosts, World at War, and World War II. Okay. Dragon Quest IX. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy 13. I think we might have found the first game I'm going to gun for. Horizon Zero Dawn. Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories. Life is Strange 2. Ni no Kuni. Resident Evil 4. Sandland. Skies of Arcadia Legends. The Walking Dead, Witcher 3, and Yooka-Laylee. Oof. All right, so there's actually 17 games since there's 16 people participating and 2 games have to survive at the end. So really, when you think about it, we have to choose what are the 2 games that we want to see Zach play. And of these, I would say the 2 I want to see him play are Final Fantasy 13 and Ni no Kuni. I'd love to see Yooka-Laylee in there as well. And Skies of Arcadia Legends. And Resident Evil 4. Okay. I think we're starting to build it, but I definitely want to see you play Final Fantasy 13. So we are going to eliminate 13 last, which is essentially locking it as a save. And I think I'm going to do Ni no Kuni second to last. Now, what other games, you know, the later we eliminate a game, the more likely it is to stay. Because it's kind of a round robin. It depends on the order that other people have eliminated things. So other games I'd like to see survive at least deep into the selection process. Skies of Arcadia Legends, Yooka-Laylee, and Resident Evil 4. Sandland's a pretty fun game too. So that gets us back to the 12th elimination. So I think we can now start from the top. What games do I not care about that I wouldn't mind seeing get eliminated right away? Well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I've never played this Walking Dead game. I love the original first season of The Walking Dead, but I do not know A New Frontier, so I'm going to cut that just because I don't know anything about it. And also, I'd rather hear you talk about one of these other games with me. We've got a lot of Call of Duty here. You know, there's so much Call of Duty, I feel like we got to thin the herd early on this one. So, of these, I would say Ghosts has to go next. Maybe World at War after that. And then Black Ops after that. I actually kind of like World War II. So maybe we'll let that one survive. Let's see. What do we have left? World War II, Dragon Quest IX, a game I've not played, but I'm sure I will love. Final Fantasy VII, great game. Horizon Zero Dawn, Rechain of Memories, Life is Strange 2. Let's cut Life is Strange 2 next. And then... Ooh... It's getting tough. I'll cut The Witcher. I'll cut The Witcher at that point. And then now I'll cut World War II, I think. Yeah, so that leaves us with Dragon Quest IX, Final Fantasy VII, and Rechain of Memories. And what else? Anything else from down here still surviving? I think everything else has a cut. So I'm gonna say we're at round 8 for the cuts, so we're fairly deep in. I'm gonna say I'm sorry to Horizon Zero Dawn, but not that passionate about you, so you can go. And then Rechain of Memories after that. Then maybe Final Fantasy VII and Dragon Quest IX. That'll be my order. So those are the games we're going to cut for Zach in that order. And it's really because I want to see you play an RPG for sure, but of the RPGs here, I would like to see you play 13 or Ni no Kuni. Those are personally the ones that I think I probably like the most. I mean, 7 is obviously a great choice, but it's not the interesting pick, right? You got to go with a little bit of spice in the backlog challenge. So, all right. We're moving on from Zach. Next up here we have HolyHandGrenade, another buddy. See what they have up and available. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, phenomenal game. The DLCs for Alan Wake 2. Batman Arkham City. Destroy All Humans. Final Fantasy 9. Oof, I think we have our first winner. Final Fantasy X-2. Gears of War. Gears Tactics, Halo, Jade Empire, Kingdom Hearts 3, Outer Wilds. Oh, buddy. Oh, dang. Resident Evil 6, Silent Hill 2, Super Mario Wonder, Vanquish, and Xenoblade Torna. Okay, well, I am set on my locks here. We are definitely eliminating Outer Wilds very last. And I think we're going to eliminate... Oh boy, this is tough. 13 Sentinels, Final Fantasy 9 next. I think I'll do Final Fantasy 9 as my second lock. Outer Wilds and Final Fantasy 9, both great games. 13 Sentinels, the easy next pick. Love that game. Anything else here I feel very passionate about? Ooh, Silent Hill 2. That'll be my next one. Phenomenal game. This is the remake too. You know, maybe not a good spooky season game though. Maybe I'll lock Mario Wonder in and we'll come back to that. Yeah, so then we have... those are our bottom 4. Let's start from the top. What am I okay cutting on this? Well, Alan Wake is kind of the same problem as Silent Hill 2. You know, that's spooky season stuff. Batman Arkham City, Destroy All Humans, Gears Tactics. Gears of War 1, I'm not that interested in. I'd rather hear you talk about Gears Tactics. I'm going to save you from Resident Evil 6. I've heard rough things, although I haven't played it myself. I'll probably like it, honestly. Another early cut would be Destroy All Humans. That's not a game I've played much of. Arkham City can go early as well. I'm personally much more of an Arkham Asylum fan. I think Arkham Asylum is the better game. I like the smaller, more contained Metroid-style environments. Okay, what do we have next to cut? Final Fantasy X-2. Now we'll cut Gears Tactics. I think it would be cool if Gears Tactics made it deep, but I mean, some of these other games are pretty good. Kingdom Hearts 3, Mario Wonder, Vanquish, Xenoblade 2. Of the RPGs here, I think I'd rather see Jade Empire over Xenoblade 2, so I'm going to cut Xenoblade 2 next. And then what's left to cut? What's our 7th place cut? I think now we'll cut Alan Wake and then Silent Hill 2. Kind of middle of the pack. Great games, but you know, not maybe seasonal. I usually do strongly favor playing horror games in October. Then I guess we'll knock out Vanquish. Then Kingdom Hearts 3. Then Jade Empire. Halo survived a long time. I guess now it's time for Halo to say goodbye. Yeah, we'll say goodbye to Halo now. And then Are we locked in at this point? Oh, we have one game left. What game have we not eliminated yet? Is it the original Gears of War? No, we cut that first. Is it? Oh, it's 10-2. All right, yeah, I would like to see you play 10-2. Heck yeah. All right, 10-2 is going to be the 9th elimination. Or I think it's the 12th elimination. Yeah, a 13th. All right, there we go. We've locked you in. Rebel of the Rebellion. All right, what games are you interested in playing? The Adventures of Mr. Bobley. Don't know too much about that. Animal Well, Astrobot, Bakaru, DreamWorks Kart, Goemon's Great Adventure, Halo Combat Evolved, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Klonoa 2, Lifeline, Silent Hill, Soul Blazer, Rebel of the Rebellion. I think you and I would get along quite well. The Adventures of Mr. Bobley. What the heck is Adventures of Mr. Bobley? Look at this guy. Look at this fella. So smug. The construction man. All right, we'll let you survive in the rankings for a while. Oh, Astrobot is so good, though. I think we'll cut Sword of the Black Stone first. Then Jedi Survivor. Don't care too much about that one. I would love to see you play a Lifeline. Harry Potter can go. Sorry to my Harry Potter fans. Ooh, janky kart race. Oh, there's so many good choices here. Oh my gosh. All right, we got to pick with some of these interesting ones. I'm going to make a spicy pick. I'm going to say not Xenogears, all right? We're going to cut Xenogears in favor of some of this other stuff. Then Shadow can go. I want to see you play Lifeline. I want to see you play Lifeline. Then Dark Moon can go. At that point, I think we can let go of All-Star Kart Racing. I love a janky kart racer, don't get me wrong. But we want to see some of these survive for a while. Halo, a nice middle-of-the-road pick. So what am I gunning for here? I think we're going to now cut Silent Hill because it's not spooky enough. Soul Blazer's a pretty good pick. Now, should we do Klonoa 2? No. Goemon next. Right? We'll cut Goemon because that's reasonable. Now we'll cut our buddy Mr. Bobley. Then Bakaru. Then Klonoa 2. So that leaves us with what? Lifeline, Soul Blazer, and Animal Well and Astrobot, I think. So then we're going to cut Soul Blazer, Animal Well, Astrobot, and Lifeline. All right, I'll cut Lifeline third to help ensure that you play one of these bangers, either Animal Well or Astrobot. So we'll do Animal Well, then Astrobot. You owe it to yourself to play some Astrobot, okay? It's just a good dang game. I need another sip of delicious tea. Ninja Pangu wants to play Alan Wake 2, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Dragon Quest III, Fire Emblem Three Houses, High on Life, Echoes of Wisdom, Luigi's Mansion 2, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Spider-Man, Metroid Prime Remastered. My God, there's so many good games here. Red Dead Redemption. Okay. What are my easy cuts? Let's get some stuff off this list. I'm gonna say High on Life. Not that concerned if you play it. Luigi's Mansion 2 is my least favorite Luigi's Mansion, so it's gotta go. Marvel's Midnight Suns I've heard is decent, but I'm gonna cut it. Then Red Dead Redemption. Some of these are like games that I think you would probably play even if you didn't have the backlog challenge. So trying to favor stuff you might be overlooking. South Park Stick of Truth can go now. Then maybe we cut the horror games now because it's just not spooky season quite yet. So we still got Xenoblade down there. Yeah, let's cut Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is great though. Donkey Kong Country Returns can survive a little bit longer, but Dragon Age Veilguard's going to go. Then Three Houses, then Xenoblade. So, wow, Pokemon Scarlet lasted longer than I wanted it to. Let's save Xenoblade and cut Pokemon Scarlet, then Xenoblade. Yeah. Pokemon Scarlet is the only generation of Pokemon I've never finished, which is probably telling you something. So we got Spider-Man, Metroid Prime, and what else is left? Donkey Kong, Echoes of Wisdom? Yeah, I think Echoes of Wisdom is probably the safe next cut. A good game. And we cut Fire Emblem. I want to see Dragon Quest 3 get through. I love that game. So let's now cut Donkey Kong Country. Think we're saving Dragon Quest 3 and Metroid. So that leaves Marvel's Spider-Man next, and then we'll cut Dragon Quest 3 after that, and Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime, the best Metroid game. Probably one of my 10 favorite games of all time. Just an incredible video game. And one I would love to see you play. So let's go with that. All right, we got Boss Chess. Man, a lot of you RPG fiends in this Discord. My word. Hey, Boss. You want to play Chrono Cross? You want to play Dragon Quest? The Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Strikers Charged, Twin Snakes, Mischief Makers, Tron Bonne, Ultimax, Pikmin 4, Resident Evil, Senran Kagura, little cheesecake for you there. Skies of Arcadia Legends, Sonic Triple Trouble in the Game Gear. Ooh, you picked some good ones here. All right. Thousand Arms, Wario Land Shake It, and Woolly World. Okay, what do we want to cut? Let's cut Yoshi's Woolly World right out the gate. A little bit easy. We don't need you to play that right now. Tears of the Kingdom, I think you would play if this challenge didn't exist, so that can go. Tronbon is so short, it's easy to fit in between other games. And so I feel like, again, that's a good candidate for outside of this challenge, just kind of popping on whenever you want. Senran Kagura, I'm sorry to have to cut. I know you're probably a big fan, but it's got to go. Now we're into the hard stuff. Triple Trouble can go. I think that's not my favorite Game Gear Sonic game. The original Sonic the Hedgehog on Game Gear is great, though. Can't remember if this was one of the good ones or not, but I'm going to cut it. Then Pikmin 4. Gosh, dang. This one's tough. I want to see these top 3 go for a while. Oh, Mario Strikers Charged can go next. You know, I'm sure a very fun game, but we almost fall. After that, Mischief Makers is cool, so I'm going to cut Twin Snakes. Then Thousand Arms. Then Wario Land. Then Skies of Arcadia. Alright. So we're down to our 11th elimination, leaving Resident Evil. And the top 3 here. And what else? Mischief Makers. Did Persona 4 last this whole time? Okay, Persona 4's got to go. Actually, I want you to cut Persona 4 before you cut Skies of Arcadia. So that leaves us with 5 here. Then we'll cut Resident Evil. Then finally Mischief Makers now. And then I'd like for you to play Dragon Quest Swords or Chrono Cross. So we'll do the Pixel Remaster, Swords, and then Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross, underappreciated game. Swords always looked really cool. And that's the type of game. Dragon Quest Swords is the exact type of game that you're not going to play without a backlog challenge like this. So trying to help encourage you to get around to it. Ooh, Josh Prep, another buddy, wants to play Ace Attorney 2, AI the Somnium Files, Bayonetta Origins, Bug Snacks, Collection of Saga, Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy 3 Pixel Remaster, 5 Pixel Remaster, Fuga Memories of Steel, Kentucky Route Zero, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Ni no Kuni, Omori, Persona 5 Tactica, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Resident Evil 6, Star Ocean, and Tales of Vesperia. What are we going to cut? Really nothing on here I want to see go, that's a tough spot to be in. I'm going to cut probably the Bayonetta puzzle game first. Gosh, these are all banger choices. Cut Persona 5 Tactica. Oh no, we'll cut Resident Evil 6, then Persona 5 Tactica. Come on. Star Ocean First Departure is a really nice game, but I think I'd like to see you check out some of the other RPGs on this list. Tales of Vesperia is really quite nice. And one of these Final Fantasy Pixel remasters would feel good. Prince of Persia Lost Crown is also pretty good. So I'm going to cut Ni no Kuni 2 and actually Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, then Ni no Kuni 2. Which brings us to elimination number 7. 7th game to go. Now, you know, Fuga's probably fine. I just haven't played it. And now we'll cut AI the Somnium Files, a game that people really love. I need to give that one another shot. I played AI the Somnium Files and it didn't hook me the way I was expecting it to. And now I'm going to cut the 3 pixel remaster in favor of the 5 pixel remaster. And then Kentucky Route Zero. Then Omori. This is tough. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Vesperia. Okay, Resident Evil 6 is gone. Good. It's Vesperia and Lost Crown. 2 great games. We've cut Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. We've cut Kentucky Route Zero, Fuga. 5 Pixel Remaster, Collection of Saga, Bug Snacks, and the Ace Attorney game. Now I'll cut the Ace Attorney game because I don't know too much about it. I mean, I know of the series, but I've never played that one. Then Bayonetta, gotta go. No, we did Bayonetta. Then Bug Snacks, I mean. Then Collection of Mana. And locking in our last 3, I think. Then we'll cut Prince of Persia, even though it's a phenomenal game. Then Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. Then last, I'd love to see you play Tales of Vesperia. Really great RPG. And not enough people talking about it. Oh, I have more than one selection per column. What one did I choose on twice? Or is that just a generalized error? I think that's just a general error. I think you're messing it up. Yeah, we got everything right. We got everything right. Okay. Luke. Luke wants to play Cave Story, Celeste, Doom, Remake Intergrade, Ghost of Tsushima, Half-Life Alyx, Hitman Blood Money, Jet Set Radio Future, Shadow of Mordor, Neon White, oof, Nier Automata, oof, Ori and the Blind Forest, oof, Penny's Big Breakaway, Resident Evil 2002, Return of the Obra Dinn, oof, Tunic, oof, Starfield, oh my gosh. All right, Luke, you have some great picks in here. Some easy cuts for me, though. I'm going to go ahead and say Hitman Blood Money does not excite me. I'm going to go ahead and say that I would rather see you play many of these other games over Starfield. And if I'm being honest with you, Penny's Big Breakaway was a bit of a disappointment for me. It was good, just wasn't great, so I'm going to cut that in favor of some of these bangers. You've got too many good non-survival horror games that I'm going to cut Resident Evil. We're going to say no survival horror for you because you got too many bangers otherwise. Ghost of Tsushima on this list does not inspire me. You have some really incredible indie stuff that I want to give some love to. So I'm going to cut Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade for the same reason. No, I'm going to cut Shadow of Mordor, then Remake Intergrade. Yeah. I want to see indie stuff or Half-Life Alyx. That's a really cool pick for a list like this. So, next we'll cut... Ooh. The cuts are getting tough already. All right. Doom 2016 gets cut next. Then Celeste. I want to see Cave Story. I want to see Half-Life Alyx. Jet Set Radio is really good, so I'm fine cutting it late like this. Oof. Tunic, Obra Dinn, man, Ori, Nier Automata. We're in impossible cuts at this point. I guess Cave Story next. I don't like any of these cuts anymore. Luke, you might have my favorite list so far. This is really hard. Yeah, we're going to cut Cave Story next. So I got 6 games remaining. They are... Let's see. We've cut these top ones. So Half-Life Alyx, Neon White, Nier Automata, Ori and the Blind Forest, Obra Dinn, and Tunic. Okay, at this point, I think I'm going to have to cut Nier Automata next. God, that game is good, though. Nier Automata goes, then we have 5 left. Pretty sure I know what my bottom 2 are going to be, which means that I think Neon White has to go next, and then no, don't make me cut any of these. Don't make me do it. Then Ori and the Blind Forest. Oh, did I already cut that? No. And then now I'm going to cut Half-Life Alyx. Then Obra Dinn, then Tunic. Yeah. Yep. That's what I want. I would love to see you play Half-Life Alyx, Obra Dinn, or Tunic. Any of those would be great picks. eSkilliam Wants to play Black Ops 6, Cyberpunk 2077, Darksiders 3, Dishonored 2, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. Man, what if you get 2 Fallout games selected? Bold. Gears 5, Grime, Halo Infinite, Last of Us Part 1, Metro Exodus, Ori Will of the Wisps, Shadowrun Dragonfall, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Wolfenstein 2, and Yakuza 4 Remastered. This is an interesting list. I don't know a lot of these games, and none of them are really exciting me. All right, let's cut some ones that are immediately I'm like, nah. Black Ops 6, don't need to worry about it. Gears 5, don't need to worry about it. Metro Exodus, I don't know anything about it. Shadowrun Dragonfall, kind of cool, but now let's cut Jedi Survivor next. Then Shadowrun Dragonfall. Ori, I want to see go further. Halo Infinite's cool. Grime, I'd like to see go further. Let's cut some of these Fallouts down. Definitely let's cut Fallout 4 next. Then Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas, I'll let go a little further. Because we're going to cut Dishonored. No, we're going to cut Darksiders 3, then Dishonored. Then probably Cyberpunk. Then probably Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, that leaves us with Grime, which if you've never seen it before, looks like a really cool game. Halo Infinite, Last of Us. I think at this point we can cut Halo Infinite. So Grime, Last of Us, Ori, and Yakuza, right? Oh, there's one more. Oh, Wolfenstein. Okay. At this point we can cut Wolfenstein, and then Yakuza 4. I hear Yakuza 4 is one of the slower Yakuza games, but I still think there's no such thing as a bad Yakuza, so deep into the list it goes. Then we're going to cut Last of Us, and then Ori and Grime are going to be my picks. Yeah. Ori and Grime. Those are the two I want to see you play. KrillinballZ. Astro's Playroom, Bug Fables, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Dragon Quest Treasures, Farmasia, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, Horizon Zero Dawn, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Minecraft Story Mode, New Tales from the Borderlands, Sonic Frontiers. I believe I put that on my list as well. We'll see my list eventually. Stray PS5, Tales of the World, Tales of Zestiria, and Uncharted 2. Okay, buddy. First off, I'm cutting Farmasia. You don't need a cozy game right now. You need to get down to business on some of these great games. Now, hear me out. This game is incredible. But I'm going to cut Astro's Playroom. And I'm doing it because the game is so short and fun and accessible. You don't need a backlog challenge to play that. You will play that at some point. It's worth your time. You want to be encouraged to play some of these longer, harder games. Three Houses does not excite me so much. Life is Strange Before the Storm does not excite me so much. Minecraft Story Mode does not excite me so much. Definitely New Tales from the Borderlands does not excite me. Actually, I'm going to swap like Life is Strange and New Tales from the Borderlands. Cut that earlier. Of the Tales games, I'd much rather you play the weird PSP one. So I'm going to cut Tales of Zestiria. Man, this is an interesting list here. I don't really know how to handle this one. I'm going to cut Uncharted 2 next. Phenomenal game. No, I'm not going to cut that soon. What am I doing? Get your head in the game. All right. What's next to cut? Did I cut Sparks of Hope? No? Oh, okay. That's the easy next cut. Then Horizon Zero Dawn. Then Dragon Quest Treasures. Then Donkey Kong Country. So I've got Bug Fables, a game I hear is quite good. Bug Fables 8 Remastered, FF8. Sonic Frontiers, Stray, Uncharted, and this weird PSP Tales of the World game. So now we're going to cut What do I cut next? I think now we cut Bug Fables and then Final Fantasy VIII. No, we'll cut Final Fantasy VIII after Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, let's cut Sonic Frontiers next. I want to see you play this weird Tales of game on PSP, I realize. So, given that, now I'm going to cut Uncharted. Then, what are my last two? What's the other remaining game? Is there another one? Is it Stray? Stray lasted longer than I thought, but you know what? Nah, we'll cut Stray after or before Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 and Tales of the World. Those are your two picks. Everything else has got to go KrillinballZ. Great choices. Chrono Link 9-1. My buddy wants to play Astrobot, Bug Fables, Fire Emblem Awakening, Ghost of Tsushima, Hogwarts Legacy, Hollow Knight, Hyrule Warriors, Echoes of Wisdom, Mass Effect, Naruto Rise of the Ninja, yes. Pokemon Legends Arceus, Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, Sea of Stars, Stellar Blade, Stray, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and Yooka-Laylee. Alright, Chrono buddy, I don't know what I want you to play if I'm being honest. You have a lot of really good games on here. I think Age of Calamity, a bit of a boring choice. We'll cut that. Man, this is tough. Ghost of Tsushima, a safe pick. I'll cut that. I care about a lot of these games more than Bug Fables. I know Bug Fables survived pretty deep in to some of these other lists, but I'll cut Hogwarts Legacy before that. Then Bug Fables. So Astrobot, Fire Emblem Awakening, Hollow Knight, Echoes of Wisdom, You got too many classics on here to play Echoes of Wisdom right now. That's got to go. Mass Effect, Naruto Rise of the Ninja. I love that Naruto game is showing up on this list. Legends Arceus. Next, I'm going to cut Stellar Blade, then Legends Arceus. I've heard this Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth is great, so we're going to let that survive for a bit. Now I'm going to cut Fire Emblem Awakening. It's a great game, but I think I'd rather see you play some of these others first. Now I'll cut Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, because that's like the last game here that I don't know personally. Astrobot's a phenomenal choice, but is that a good backlog challenge game? Again, kind of like Astro's Playroom. Is that not so fun and accessible that you were probably going to play it anyways? I think I'm going to cut it. I think I'm going to cut it number 10. Hollow Knight's got to go the distance here. Hollow Knight's good. Alright, number 10 eliminated. Then we got Hollow Knight, Mass Effect, Naruto. Arceus is still around. No, Arceus is gone. Sea of Stars is still around. Stray. Uncharted and Yooka-Laylee. Alright, Stray can go now. Stray can go now. Stray's good. Stray's really good, but... Alright, of these, I think I'll have to cut Yooka-Laylee. Don't get me wrong, I think Yooka-Laylee's great, but we're going to cut that next. Then we're going to cut... We're letting Hollow Knight go. We're letting Hollow Knight go. Now I think we'll cut the original Mass Effect, then that Naruto game, then the original Uncharted, because we want to see you play that original Uncharted. And that leaves us with, yeah, Sea of Stars, which I'd love to see you play, and Hollow Knight, which I'd love to see you play. Couple of great picks there. All right, Kingdom Hearts boy. Not someone I know personally, but let's see what you're into. Ace Combat 7, Baldur's Gate 3, Catherine, Disco Elysium. Ooh, great game. Dragon Quest 11. Great game. Dying Light, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 15, Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost Runner, Hades, Hollow Knight. Oh my gosh. Metro, Pathfinder, Persona 5, and Yakuza 0. All right, I can cut half of these, and the other half are going to be rough. All right, we're going to start by cutting Pathfinder. I just don't know too much about it. And Metro Exodus is going to go. And then Dying Light. And then... Oh, no. First off, we're going to get Final Fantasy 15 out of here. Actually, Final Fantasy 15 is going to be your first cut, all right? Then we'll do Metro, then Pathfinder. And then Dying Light can go. Then I think Ace Combat. This is where we enter into the phase of this list of games that are good, but I don't know. There's stuff I'd want to see you play pretty heavily. I think I'll cut Baldur's Gate 3 next. I would rather see you play Disco Elysium over Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not ready to cut Disco Elysium. Dragon Quest 11's so good. Elden Ring is so good. Oh, Ghost of Tsushima can go now. Yeah. And then Ghost Runner can go after that. Then Persona 5. So Yakuza 0 remains. Hades remains. Hades is really good. Final Fantasy X remains. Elden Ring remains, yes. I think Elden Ring is going to be my next cut. I mean, that's a great game, but you'll probably play it at some point anyways, right? Then now I'm going to cut Yakuza 0. Then I'm going to cut... Ooh, gosh, this is getting brutal. Then I'm going to cut Hades, then Hollow Knight. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm working towards something. Because I got Final Fantasy X, Dragon Quest 11, Disco Elysium, and Catherine, right? Alright. Then we're cutting Final Fantasy X. And then... I don't know, man. I don't know. Final Fantasy... or Dragon Quest 11, Disco Elysium, and Catherine. Alright, of those, then we'll cut Catherine, then Disco Elysium, then Dragon Quest 11. I want to see you play Dragon Quest 11. That's a great game. Any of these, like, bottom 5, though, I'd be so happy with. Hey, this is my list. I don't think what I put into these really matters, but just in case you're curious. I put 428 Shibuya Scramble, Ape Escape 2, Crystallis on the NES, Tropical Freeze on Wii U, Elemental Gimmick Gear on Dreamcast, Epic Mickey, Horizon Zero Dawn, Infinite Undiscovery, Azuna, Legend of the Unemployed Ninja, Landstalker on Genesis, Legend of Oasis on Saturn, Lost Via Domus on PS3, Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom on 360, Pandora's Tower on Wii, Sonic Frontiers, Warlocked, and East Book 2. I don't need to choose anything here, but we'll just make our selections. I think of these, what do I want to win? I kind of want 428 Shibuya Scramble to win. But we'll see. We'll see what the people give me. We'll see what the people dictate as my game. Again, you don't vote for your own games, so this selection process doesn't matter for me. I'm just marking them off in a nice diagonal pattern to keep things kosher. Shadow Eternia. What do you want to play, Shadow Eternia? BioShock Infinite? Black Ops 6, Symphony of the Night, Shadow of the Erdtree, God of War 2018, Half-Life, A Hat in Time, Hitman Blood Money. This is the second time Hitman Blood Money showed up. Very interesting. Metro Last Redux, Parasite Eve 2, Psychonauts, Quake expansion packs. I played those this last year. They were great. Resident Evil 2 Remake, Sonic Mania, Sonic Generations, Sunset Overdrive, and Uncharted 4. Ooh, you got some good picks in here, Shadow Eternia. Alright, my easy cuts are Metro and Hitman. I care less about those than many of these others. Then Black Ops and BioShock, also games I do not have particular passion for. I haven't played either of them, but Symphony, Shadow the Erd Tree, God of War, Half-Life, A Hat in Time. Parasite Eve 2, Psychonauts. Man, you have some really interesting picks. I'm going to cut Shadow Generations. That's a little new. And I'd like to see you play an older game, Sonic Mania of the two. Then Sunset Overdrive. I'm going to cut Uncharted 4. It's kind of a safe pick. I want to see you play something a little more interesting. Then we're going to cut... I guess we'll cut Resident Evil 2. No, let's cut Parasite Eve 2 next. Nah, let's cut A Hat in Time next. Then Parasite Eve 2. Yeah. Then the original Half-Life, honestly, kind of crusty. Then Shadow the Erd Tree. Which leaves us with Symphony of the Night, an incredible game. Is God of War 2018 still alive? It is? Alright, that's going to be my next cut. So Symphony of the Night. Psychonauts, the Quake expansion packs. Sonic Mania. Is that it? There's one more remaining. What is it? Oh no, Symphony of the Night got cut? I cut Symphony of the Night earlier? What the heck? Oh, that was on accident. Okay. Phew. I was like, no, I didn't. Symphony of the Night. Psychonauts. Quake expansion, Resident Evil 2 remake, and Sonic Mania. Okay. Now we'll cut Resident Evil 2 remake, not because it isn't incredible, but because, again, not really the spooky season. Then we're going to cut... we're going to let Symphony of the Night ride a little bit. Sonic Mania is so good. I guess now we'll cut the... Quake expansion packs, then Psychonauts, great game, and then Symphony of the Night, and then Sonic Mania. I think that's a good final two. If you played either of those or both of those, I'd be quite happy. Shadow Eternia. Pesto 87. What do you got for me? Chrono Cross Remastered, phenomenal. Devil May Cry 3, interesting choice. Dragon Slayer Legend of Heroes. Horizon Zero Dawn, very common one. Landstalker. Hey, someone else put Landstalker. Respect. Link Between Worlds, Lego City Undercover. Lunar Silver Story, Phoenix Wright. Project Cross Zone 2, Radiata Stories. Resident Evil 0, Scribblenauts Mega Pack, Sonic Adventure. Vegas 2, The Three Tomb Raiders, and Yoshi's Story. What an interesting, very eclectic mix, Pesto. I think you did good. You picked good. I'm going to cut Lego City. And then... No, first we're going to cut Project Cross Zone 2. It's just too long. You'll lose steam. Then we'll do Lego City Undercover. Then Tomb Raider 3. Then Vegas 2. Just some games that I don't have a particularly high level of passion about. Scribblenauts Mega Pack is kind of like a pick up and play sort of deal. I don't know if you need to prioritize that. Too many interesting choices for me to go with Horizon Zero Dawn on this list, so we're cutting that. We need something obscure. Or just weird. Oh, man. Alright, so we got these top three. Landstalker, Link Between Worlds, Lunar, Phoenix Wright, Radiata Stories, Resident Evil 0. Alright, we're going to cut Resident Evil 0 next. I would love to see you play Radiata Stories, honestly, so... What if I cut Sonic Adventure now? Nah, I should cut Yoshi's Story, then Sonic Adventure. Let's be realistic. Get your head in the game. Alright. So now that we're here, we got Radiata Stories. Phoenix Wright still survives, if I recall. I think Phoenix Wright has to go next. Then Devil May Cry. So I have 6 picks left. They are Chrono Cross, Dragon Slayer, Landstalker, A Link Between Worlds, Lunar, and Radiata Stories? Now we'll cut Landstalker, then A Link Between Worlds, then Chrono Cross. I want to see you play this Dragon Slayer game. That's a really interesting pick, and I think you would like that too. So then we'll get rid of Lunar. which leaves us Radiata Stories and finally Dragon Slayer. This is not necessarily indicative of like the order of my favorites, but I think that that'll be good. Oh, it's saying that I selected more than one game for a particular column. Which column? Which column is this true in? Oh, this Chrono Cross. I accidentally selected it right there, I think. Where else have I made this mistake? You rascally game, you? I think that's it. Tera the Red Mage wants to play. A lot of Astrobot showing up here. Alan Wake 2, Astrobot, Ritual, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Crow Country, Devil May Cry, Disco Elysium, Dishonored 2, Morrowind, Ender Magnolia, Final Fantasy V, Indiana Jones, Life is Strange, Pathologic, dang, Shadow Generations, Sorry We're Closed, The Witcher 2, and Wolfenstein The New Order. Dang, okay. The first easy cut for me is Bloodstained. That's probably the only game on here that I don't love. Dishonored 2, I know people have a lot of affection for it, but I have not played it. Morrowind, I'm going to cut. That's just not the pick. I'm going to have to get rid of Indiana Jones. It's a little new for my taste. I like to favor older games on these sort of things. Okay. Then we're going to cut Life is Strange because it's just quick and easy. You could fit that in somewhere. Then Wolfenstein after that. Then The Witcher. Which leaves us Sonic Shadow Generations. Oh, that's got to go. It's too new. So now we've got Pathologic, If I Want to Hurt You. Final Fantasy V. Ender Magnolia. Disco Elysium. Devil May Cry. Crow Country. Astrobot and Alan Wake 2. Alright, we're going to get rid of Alan Wake 2 and Astrobot. Again, I just firmly believe Astrobot's the type of game that you would play without the compelling need. So I'd like to see you play something a little more backloggy. So now we're going to cut Ender Magnolia, which leaves us 5. Final Fantasy V, Pathologic. Pathologic will probably hurt, so we'll cut it now in hopes that maybe it doesn't survive to the end. So your last 4 are Final Fantasy V, Disco Elysium, Crow Country, and Devil May Cry. Crow Country, I think, can get cut next. It's a great game, but it's newer. What do I want for you? What do I want for you? I think we'll cut Disco Elysium next, and I'll offer you up Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy V. Some great games. Some great games. Tera, interesting choices. And then we've got Sir Walter Dubs, who's our final individual on the list. Wants to play Chrono Trigger, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, Digimon Survive, Elder Scrolls 4, Final Fantasy 15, Hogwarts Legacy, Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, multiple Zeldas, Ni no Kuni, One Piece Pirate Warriors, Pokemon Scarlet, Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin, Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, SpongeBob SquarePants Yellow Avenger, Ripto's Rage, heck yeah, Subnautica, and Virtue's Last Reward. Now, I don't know if you've played the other Zero Escape games. I'm trusting that you have. So my personal easy first cuts are 15 and Hogwarts Legacy. Just not what my personal interests are in. We can only have one Digimon game, right? I'm going to cut Cyber Sleuth. I want to see that Digimon Survive. Fewer people talk about that. Then we're going to cut One Piece. I don't know how much you love One Piece. Maybe that's a great pick for you, but some of these other games excite me a little bit more. We'll cut Subnautica after that. What else? Of these, honestly, I would rather hear you talk about Skyward Sword than Breath of the Wild. I just think that might make for a more interesting convo. Then I'll cut Oblivion. Sorry to my Oblivion heads. I've not played it before. Please don't judge me. At this point, we'll cut Digimon Survive. And Skyward Sword at that point. Because we got Chrono Trigger in here. We've got Ni no Kuni in here. We've got Pokemon Scarlet. Actually, we're about to lose Pokemon Scarlet, if I'm being honest with you. Then I'm going to cut Rhombus of Ruin because that's a pretty short game. But Ni no Kuni survives. Chrono Trigger survives. Deedlit has so far survived. And this weird SpongeBob game and Zero Escape. And Spyro. Now we're going to cut Virtue's Last... No, we're going to cut the SpongeBob game, then Virtue's Last Reward. Spyro 2 is so good. So now it's time to say goodbye to Deedlit. Which leaves Spyro 2, Chrono Trigger, and Ni no Kuni. Alright, we're going to cut then Ni no Kuni, then Spyro 2, then Chrono Trigger. Because I'd like to see you play Spyro or Chrono Trigger. Spyro 2 and Chrono Trigger. Boom. And that is it. That is everybody's games as I would personally cut and keep them. A lot of incredible choices here. You know, no matter what gets chosen, ultimately you're all going to have a great time working your way through these backlogs. Important reminder for folks who watched that my cuts don't dictate the order, but they help to suggest the order when randomized against everybody else's cut. You know, it's round robin style. So I will have to see which of my games survive, and I'll be curious to see how many of my picks for others made it the distance. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll chat with you in the next video. Peace.